Special good morning to our listeners, good morning to our viewers. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. It's Friday, the 27th day of March, 2026. Good morning to those of you listening via our social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning and welcome. It's a beautiful Friday on the outdoors. Let me say good morning to my guests. Of course, we have Mr. Bain returning. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
I think it's the first time I'm having him in the studio. I know it's not a first for GBN. Let me say good morning to Mr. Derrick. James, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Good morning to listeners.
Good morning. Yes. Well, nice to have you folks in the studio. Of course, representing the DPM this morning, as I like to simply refer to as the movement.
The movement.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? See, we only that kind of calm mood this morning. What's up? Is it the outdoors? Or?
No. That's it. We're doing good. GT, before we start on the questions and all the discussion, I just want to take this moment to express on behalf of the movement our sympathies to the family of the late Dr. Roland Pussell from New York, outstanding Grenadian, who has done a lot for the community of Grenada, Caribbean, Martinique, not only in the diaspora but also those here. So I just want to, on behalf of the movement, to express our sympathies to the family and friends.
All right. And I think too, likewise, the family of another person.
Yeah.
Mr. Pussell, one of your former general managers, who I understand passed away over the last weekend. Someone I knew well.
All right. Well, condolences goes out to the families also. Let's get into the discussion this morning. I have tons of questions that I want to ask this morning. And
Bring them.
It stems off of the Congress you had last weekend, which I deem was a success for you folks.
Yes, it was.
We told you it was going to lift the bar even further from that of the launch, and I think we achieved that goal.
All right. How do you feel about it in general? To break that ice, how do you feel about the Congress? Let's get an answer from both of you. How do you felt about the Congress happening and that feedback that you all felt when it was taking place? How was that?
If I could go first, I would say it met our expectations. It has created not just a buzz now, but it has created a draw for persons who felt that the politics that is being practiced in Grenada was not the politics they want to be associated with. And we are now seeing an outpouring of persons who are coming to the movement, who want to be identified, and who want to raise their hand and show up and say, I am the movement. Because as the deputy political leader said, this movement just takes you. It just takes you and you become the movement.
So true. Let's hear from you.
I think it was a great success. The morning session, which was a closed session, I would have loved for the public to experience what that session was like, because it was different to anything we have ever seen in Grenada.
All right.
The process of selecting the delegates, the candidates, and selecting the executive. That was critical, how it was done. And I think the process went as smooth as we wanted it to go, and it was a huge success. And not just a matter of voting people and nominating people, it also brought a lot of fun to the delegates.
All right. No, I want to spawn my next question off of your last statements. Your first Congress elected a full executive and ratifies the Constitution. And what safeguard are in place to prevent that kind of course, internal manipulation of it? Of course, sometimes you're accused of parties off sometimes.
Let me explain the process of first of all selecting potential candidates.
Yeah.
We announced 8.
Yeah.
The process was that each candidate must go to the constituency and get the support of what we call the PDs, the polling divisions, get the support. They will then have to take that to the executive and tell them that we have nominated X to be the candidate to represent that constituency. After that, we go through a process of screening the candidates. We sit down, we look at the candidates. We also have a vetting process with the candidates, talk to them. We also in cases that we have 2 persons vying for that. We did some polling to see what was happening. So it was very transparent, and we gave the constituencies the opportunity, which is right, to make that decision, and not to that we sit down by ourselves as a committee and make that decision.
Okay.
If I could add to, after we do the polling or after we do the screening, we don't just put that person aside and move on, but we sit with them, we meet with them, we explain to them, and they become part of that process in terms of liaising with the communities and with their PDs,
yes,
so that there is no breakaway after that process, because we have seen it happen.
So you already preempted my next question, so there's no need for me to go into it. We talk more and we talk of influential persons from time to time wanting to join, with what criteria determines who gets that DPM ticket?
I think that's what Derrick just explained.
I think he explained that a wee bit.
It has to come from the people, and that's why in presenting the Constitution, we lamented the point that the Congress is the highest decision-making body of the party, and the executive, it's a bottom-up approach. They are the ones who would select that person. So anyone who comes to us and say they want to run in a particular constituency, they need to go back to the constituency, to the PDs, and the nomination must come from at least 2 PDs within their constituency. Okay.
And it's not. I want to make this quite clear that our political leader has very little or no say in this process.
I'm not sure if you know the process.
So we said that, we discussed that. We in a discussion where he will be in the discussion. We would explain our decision as to how we go forward.
So the typical way of saying it's not politics as usual within the DPM.
It's politics unusual.
Politics unusual. All right. There's also that worry about career politicians, right? And what balance of experience and fresh faces does the slate bring?
Well, we have most of these people, the people that have been selected. They are community-oriented persons. They have been doing a lot of work in the community before they got themselves involved with the movement. And we know that is a big plus for them. It's not people who just spring up and decide, I want to go into politics. We look at that too. As something that people who were in the community and so on, some of our candidates, they have been involved not just in the question of communities, but also on the question of the religious side of it. They've been involved in the organizations within the religious community. They have been involved in in teaching people, helping people. In fact, one of our candidates has been involved in a lot of service-oriented work in the community by bringing in international people to assist in doing work in the community. So we look at that in a serious way to ensure that the blend that we have experienced people in the community, and then we have also the seasoned politicians that and we don't have much of that as seasoned politicians.
I think when you look at the 8 persons who were launched on Sunday, 25% is politician. 2 persons, 2 out of 8.
2 out of 8 are politicians.
Yes. I'm not even sure if you can call Ali a politician. I would think more community activist or social activist than a politician. Yeah, so we look at people like Charmaine, who has been involved in our community, who is involved in the tourism sector. You have people as Andy, who has been involved in the church and the youth arm of the church. You have Kojo out of Karakou, first time in politics. So we have 6 first timers. Pamela, who has been someone grounded, small business owner, grounded in the community. So it shows that the process that we explained earlier in terms of the community bringing these people to us, it is working.
All right. No, you had a lot of consultation, or you held, to say, a lot of consultations, across Grenada, and even in the diaspora. What were some of those top 3 concerns you heard most often?
Prices, cost of living is a major one. The brain drain, the loss of hope in terms of future in Grenada, and that is something that we really have to work together. And when I say we, I'm not just talking about the movement, I'm talking about all of Grenada, to keep our best people at home, and those that leave our shores, we keep their minds and their soul at home, so that they are still able to contribute, because the technology allows for that, right? We also have healthcare. Healthcare seems to be the burning issue. Primary healthcare. Primary healthcare, not grandized projects, but primary healthcare. And corruption. The ugly head of corruption has to be chopped off. I mean, sorry to make it sound that way, but I don't know how else to say it. Corruption seems to be rampant. It is becoming a norm, and we can't allow that to happen. Our resources are too scarce for that.
If I may add, one thing that we also picked up in the committee is the politics of fear. It is a big problem of people afraid to associate themselves with any political party or the movement or so on, because they fear retribution. In fact, I'll give you a situation where yesterday somebody came to me and tell me they're visiting, and they wanted to go by the girlfriend. They couldn't go because she feared that if he comes there, because she feels associated with a political party, that the retribution would be great for her. So he could not go and stay with her because of that. That is how serious it is.
I went to Caracou and had a package for someone, and the person basically had to hide to come pick it up from me because they did not want to be seen collecting anything from me. That is how I look at the light and I'm laughing, because our first in my yard session in Paradise, there were quite a number of people, but everyone is sort of standing back. We had some solar lights, spotlights set up under the tent, and then we realized, take off the light. We took the light off, and everybody came under the tent, because people did not want to be seen sitting with the movement because they're afraid of the repercussions. I mean, this is ludicrous. We went to another session in St. Andrew Northwest, and persons were standing way in the dark and messaging persons on our team to say, I'm here, I'm supporting, but I don't want the camera to pick me up.
How concerning is that? I mean, let's just stick on that for a minute. How concerning is that? The politics of fear in Grenada. Is it helping Grenada at all? How concerning is that?
It's not helping.
For the DPM as a political party now. How concerning is that? Politics of fear.
It's not helping. It's very concerning, because it tells you that the people who have the ability to serve, they are in the background. They are afraid. I mean, if you think about this, it does not stay in the public service only. It goes in the statutory bodies, and everybody feel they could jump on the bandwagon and send letters to people and tell them you're not supposed to be associated in politics because of this and that. Where the policy come from? Wherever we ever hear that? Where's the written policy that tell people they cannot be involved? And we know that as a fact. That people receive letters telling them they cannot be associated.
At statutory bodies, and they are being told that the public service rules apply to them. And I'm not even sure if there's a public service, a legal public service rule that says that you cannot be associated. Because I believe we have constitutional protection against those things. So we need to exert our rights as a people.
And we have to stand up. People have to stand up and understand the constitutional right to be able to associate themselves with a political party of their choice. They could go and listen. There's certain rules of the public service, and we have to respect those rules in the public service. But, I mean, you can't take that and paint the brush across the board for everybody in private sector, in the public sector, doing this to people. We can't do that. People have to stand up and say, no, they're not doing it. And stand up for the constitutional right.
If you hold a particular role in a private or public sector organization, and you are on a political platform, you should not purport that your sentiments are those of your organization. And once you understand that rule, and once you're able to draw that line, I don't see why you should be.
I'll give you an example. Another example.
part.
Sunday at the Congress is a lady who wanted to be a delegate, agreed to be a delegate. And she called me and she said, listen, I've been sitting in my van for half an hour. And that fear came to me. I'm not going to come inside because I didn't realize that I had so much people that afraid somebody see my body. And I said, listen, I respect that. Do what you feel you have to do. And she left. That's how bad it is.
That's a bit concerning. Now, looking back, what does the those consultations per se reveal about the appetite for that third force in Grenadian, politics?
I think it was at our very first engagement onto the point. We alluded to the fact that over 26,000 persons did not vote in our last election. And several persons who voted in the 2022 elections, like myself, by December 2024, January 2025, was saying, that is it. I will not vote again. Because the menu on offer was just not attractive enough to whet your appetite. Now we are seeing a change in that. And persons, I remember when I resigned from the NMP in 2025 or 2025, I got several messages from persons who are saying, I am with you. I am one of those persons who did not see an alternative and is now ready to review and to look at what you are presenting as an alternative. And if it is attractive enough, I will be part of this. And one of those same persons, I got a message from him on Monday morning to say, I was there on Sunday, and I am here. Just let me know how I can serve and how I can participate.
Great. We drew for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks. To the point. Classic Radio GBN TV. We'll be right back. Don't touch it down.
Every generation has its moment. A moment when a nation decides to build something greater. For its people, for its future. For Grenada, that moment is now. The government of Grenada invites the entire nation to witness the groundbreaking ceremony for the new General Hospital under Project Polaris. Be there as we break ground on a future where every Grenadian has access to modern, world-class healthcare. Friday, 27th March, at the Project Polaris site, Calaveni, St. George. Arrive at 3:30 p.m. The ceremony begins at 4 p.m. sharp. Bring your pride, bring your hope, and witness the beginning of a new chapter in Grenada's history. Project Polaris, building the future of healthcare, building the future of Grenada.
Grenada, the fire's about to be lit. Get ready for the ultimate grilling showdown. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026 is coming your way. Saturday, May the 30th at the Monrouge Plain Field. The search is on for the island's top grill masters. Do you have what it takes? Bring your flavor and compete in the chicken category, the seafood category, and the bold, most creative grill category, where daring ideas take the crown. And this year, the heat isn't just for adults. Introducing the Junior Grillers category. Schools and youth groups. If you're under 18, this is your time to shine. So fire up those coals, sharpen those grilling skills, and get ready to battle for grilling glory. Registration is now open. Call or WhatsApp 405-8458 to secure your spot. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026. Saturday, May the 30th, Monrouge Plain Field. Come for food, stay for the vibes, and witness who will be crowned King of the Grill. Brought to you by Maggie, enhancing the natural flavor of your food.
A trip to Grenada from April 4th to the 6th, 2026. A decision you'll never regret. This isn't just any destination. It's where passion meets performance. Welcome to the 53rd Carifta Games, hosted at the iconic Kirani James Athletic Stadium in St. George's, under the
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again, especially those of you via social media platforms, whether it's a Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back in this segment. Ali Gill returns. And I see that smile on your gentleman's face. How does the DPM view his entrance? And what role do you see him play? To say, being, of course, has been selected or elected as deputy political leader of the party and so forth. Talk to me in relation to that.
Well, as you know, that Ali is a special guy when it comes to politics.
Yeah.
Energy, ideas. And I have been with Ali in the 2003-2008 elections. And he brings an energy that no one else I have seen to bring it, and it was manifested in the on Sunday, and we believe that his presence is one that will really help us a lot. Yeah. The experience also. I mean, Ali come from a background not outside being a lawyer. He was a senator. He's involved with culture. He's still involved with culture. He's involved with sports and so on. And he's a real community person who understands the people. Ali never left his community of St. John's. I mean, he's always been there with them. So I think that him coming into us is a way we call a good vaccine for the period. And we believe that he will assist our other candidates in the development process. So we really welcome him.
Yeah. Anything you want to expand on that?
And I think it's not just Ali coming in as being announced as a candidate or being elected as a deputy political leader, because I believe Ali has always been part of the movement, if not part of the front line. But as Derrick said, he brings a new energy, but also he brings vast experience. Yeah. Experience in law, not just as an attorney, but also as a magistrate, regional magistrate. So he brings that. His representation for reparation for enslaved people of Africa, Caribbean, and North America. It brings that international experience that is much needed in Grenada, especially as we deal with all these challenges of those international challenges and the political environment that we now live in. So Ali brings that, but he also brings a community. He also brings away from his community. We had an engagement in Loreto in St. John's on Thursday, on Wednesday.
All right.
And for the first time, we realized that we can't go to all of these engagements without a mic, because the number of persons who showed up, the engagement from the community, and people are saying, next time we need a bigger venue. That is what he brings. That is what he brings. So, plus the experience, culture, the range of experience. So I believe it adds value, and the DPM is in the business of addition. Because this is what politics is about: addition, adding persons. And we have always said that we want the best of Grenada. This is what we are aspiring to do. You would see others. You would see others coming along.
All right.
Promise you that.
All right. You know, women and leadership also plays an important role. Women and leadership. Does the DPM have any specific agenda, to encourage women to step forward in terms of giving them that, we sometimes have that double standards that's always highlighted by supporters and figures like, I want to call it particular females' names, you understand. But what message do you have to offer, especially for young women considering leadership, but fear of that public shaming sometimes?
We one of our pillars is that of gender diversity, and not just, but diversity on a whole, whether it's age, because we need of course a component of youth and future vision, but also woman power and the value that the female add to any team. I think that is undisputed. However, we have to, not just DPM, but as a country, we have to stand up against. We talk about gender-based violence, and what we see on social media, and even in formal media, the attacks that we see against female in leadership position. We have to classify that also as gender-based violence, and we have to take a stand against that. We have seen the attacks against one of our potential candidates in the last couple of days, and fortunately, we have seen the ladies across the nation striking back, and I think that's a good thing. But we have to see more male voices joined in defense of our female, so that the best emerges. Whether it's the best woman, the best man, or the best young person, the best emerges.
You want to expand on that, Mr. Jameson, anyway?
Well, no, I do believe that it's time that we see women as equal as men, and we should not hold men to a higher standard and women to things that they don't expect this of women and so on. The women is the ones who grow up children. They're the ones who mold our children for us, because most of us as men,
they understand economics.
They understand. Yeah. So I think it's time. I mean, we go a long way back in fighting for women's rights and women equality of women. They fight for equal pay. We started that language since during the revolution, and we still have a long way to go. We must not hold our women at a different standard to those of men. We have to be equal. We have to understand that. We all in life, you do not highlight, you glorify men when they do certain things, but you bring women down when they do the same thing.
So true.
We have to stop that.
So true. Now, image, momentum, public perception. Those three words coming together speaks a lot. You know, the first Congress was described as high energy. You know, we saw professionalism was played, you know, in terms of visually polished and all of that. Was that deliberate branding or just natural enthusiasm? I also want to follow by saying we see soca artists like, you know, Mr. Killer appearing on your platform, urging involvement. How important is that cultural capital, I should say, for youth support, of course, in your strategy as an organization? Some will call, when we talk about public perception, some will say, you know, the DPM is a set of big jokers. I mean, I'm sure you folks have heard those kind of conversations being had via social media and so forth. Others may say, it could be a real threat. What perception is closer to the reality, and why? Talk to me in relation to that.
Well, perception is normally reality.
Yeah.
So the reality is that DPM is a viable option in any election to be called in Grenada anytime now. I think that is the main perception you saw coming out. That's the main reality.
Yeah.
That emerged from Sunday's Congress. And what we have seen is a cross-section of Grenadian responding. So our soca artists coming in there, a big name as Mr. Killer, endorsing what the DPM stands for. It says that the policies of the DPM, the perception of the DPM is resonating across that very vital youth sector.
Yeah.
And that is important. And if you twin that with the emergence of Ali Gill as a major contender, it says that DPM is embedded in culture.
Okay. Anything you want to expand on that, Mr. James?
I think I check out.
You know, it's competing against the new National Party and the National Democratic Party. For voters, you know, who have always chosen either of these two political organizations, what is the clear reason that you should say that they should consider the movement? No.
Let's look at the capacity.
Yeah.
Let's look at the composition of the DPM, and let's look at the composition of any of the other major political parties. And if we match them, mano, you would see that DPM emerges with a stronger quality. Leader, We have the most experienced political leader across the three parties. Deputy political leader, I think we are head and shoulders above. And you look constituency by constituency, you would see that we have quality and capacity. We have a team that is ready to run the country. That is why we say that the movement provides an umbrella for all, regardless of who you voted for in 2022 or in 1984. The TPM is ready to welcome you on board because we want to be inclusive and we want to remove all those divisions. And I'm hoping that my good friend in St. Andrews Northeast is listening carefully. I told her I was going to call her name, but I wouldn't do that because I know as I come off the program, she'll be calling me and we'll be having our usual political banter. And that's what we want to see.
Okay.
Regardless of which party you support, let our friendships remain. Let our professional relationships remain.
Now, how would the DPM government differ in style? In terms of in style and substance, of course, from both current and currently the National Democratic Congress and potential NMP return. How would you differ in style and substance?
I think the person who answered this best was Peter in one of your forums, where he said, for the first time he's in a political party where we sit down and we discuss policies, where we meet with the communities and we discuss policies with them, and they discuss solutions to challenges within those communities, and we take this and we take it to our experts and we fashion these into policies that the people can buy into. That is always different. Let's look at today. We have a major flagship project being turn-in ceremony. How much do we know about that project? How much is that project shrouded in secrecy? That's the difference that the DPM would bring. What's the cost of that project? We are hearing figures being bandied about. $350 million, $185 million has been secured. What's the sources of finances? What's the procurement process? Is the Public Procurement Act being followed in the execution of this project? None of these questions are being answered. And that is the difference at the DPM. That's the difference. Where you have a repository where persons can go to and find information. If you have a World Bank project, for example, you can go to the World Bank site and you get full disclosure on that project. We need to have similar patterns here in Grenada. Too many things are happening, and no one. We are told things on our need to know, and most often it seems as though we do not need to know. We had a ship unloading 12,000 metric tons of cement imported by a company called Icon Investment. Who are the owners of that company? What are the sources of what's the source of that cement? Was it imported by any of our major importers? Is it for sale to the public? We need to ask questions, and we need to have answers, and we need to see a greater level of transparency. Transparency. What was it? The taglines of the NDC?
Transparency and good governance.
Transparency and good governance seem to be now need to know, and you do not need to know.
My next question may tickle your fancy just a wee bit. What would you work in either party in terms of coalition, or confidence and supply arrangements, or is your aim just a majority or nothing?
No. I think in the last meeting I called, and I said, it's open invitation to all.
Yeah.
We said the DPM is here for all of Grenada. So anyone from any other party, and that's why we say we don't know who we voted for, we don't care.
All right.
So if any other party members or they're listening to us and they want to be part of the movement, we say, you are the movement, come on board.
Yeah, I remember through that to develop Grenada, we cannot continue the politics as usual.
Okay.
We have to be inclusive, we have to be united, And we have to get the best sons and daughters of the country to help build Grenada. We at the stage in our life where the world is a strange place today. And as such, we have to ensure that whoever you think politically, your political alignment, you have a contribution to make to the development of Grenada. You should get the opportunity.
Yep. Yes.
To make that contribution to the development of Grenada. We cannot sit back and say John Black is this party, not part of us. He cannot get a job, and he's a master. He's an expert in that field. We cannot. It's not right. We cannot do that. So that's why we are looking at. We're saying to everybody, join us. Be part of it. It's not all about developing the movement. It's about developing Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique.
All right. And one of our current strategies is that of developing a think tank of Grenadians or regionalists who some of the ideas that we garnish from the communities, we throw it to them and ask them to look into it, help us create policies to address it.
Conversation of that nature was heard during the last general election, but we never see it come into fruition.
True.
You know, will the DPM make a difference in that?
Well, the people have to hold us accountable.
Yeah.
We are saying that the people would have to hold us accountable, and that's why we said that we have to develop a framework where we are able to report to the people with the same way we are going to them now in Mayard and having those discussions. This has to happen after elections, and if it doesn't happen, I would tell you from now, then you shouldn't listen to us another time around when we're asking you to re-elect us in 2022 or thereabout. When we're asking for re-election, you would not listen to us if we didn't deliver this after winning the next election.
We drew for a break, let's take it. You know, some folks may listen to us and say, we heard those conversations before. You know that, and you know, but if you could bring that to fruition, it could make a whole lot of difference. Because everyone is looking for the betterment of Grenada.
Definitely.
Yes.
The betterment of Grenada. Let's take a break. We come back and continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks, on Point Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back. Don't touch it out.
A trip to Grenada from April 4th to the 6th, 2026. A decision you'll never regret. This isn't just any destination. It's where passion meets performance. Welcome to the 53rd Carifta Games, hosted at the iconic Kirani James Athletic Stadium in St. George's. Under the theme, Passion Drives Performance. The best of the Caribbean's junior athletes will compete in electrifying track and field competition. Organize now and be part of an experience like no other, where talent, passion, and perseverance come alive on the land of 100,000 jab. Feel the passion, celebrate the performance, and create memories that will last a lifetime in pure Grenada, the land of warmth, spirit, and unstoppable energy. Welcome to the 53rd Carifta Games.
Whenever happy to see me, nobody is strangers. One big family.
Grenada, the fire's about to be lit. Get ready for the ultimate grilling showdown. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026 is coming your way.
We have a pot on the fire, burn a flame when she cooking.
Saturday, May the 30th at the Monroe Plain Field. The search is on for the island's top grill masters. Do you have what it takes? Bring your flavor and compete in the chicken category, the seafood category, and the bold, most creative grill category, where daring ideas take the crown. And this year, the heat isn't just for adults. Introducing the Junior Grillers category, schools and youth groups. If you're under 18, this is your time to shine. So fire up those coals, sharpen those grilling skills, and get ready to battle for grilling glory. Registration is now open. Call or WhatsApp 405-8458 to secure your spot. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026, Saturday, May the 30th, Monroe's Plain Field. Come for food, stay for the vibes, and witness who will be crowned King of the Grill. Brought to you by Maggie, enhancing the natural flavor of your food. fire's about to be lit. Get ready for the ultimate grilling showdown. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026 is coming.
Before the digital age, before the world moved at the speed of a click, there was a signal connecting a nation. In 1986, a journey in broadcasting began in Grenada, a journey that would grow into a trusted voice across the country. For 40 years, through radio and television, we've been there for the stories that shaped our nation, the news that mattered, the voices that informed us, the moments that brought us together. Your stories, your voices, your moments. The Grenada Broadcasting Network, 40 years strong. One nation, one network.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again. It's To The Point Classic Radio. It's Friday, the 27th day of March, 2026. Gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back once again. You unveiled 8 candidates and hinted of more are coming. When can the public expect that full slate and of course, these surprise names, if you want to put it say it in that particular way?
I don't know what surprise names. Well, we are hoping to make an announcement sometime in next month of some more candidates. That is the plan right now, and
Dates, time, and place already locked down.
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So we're going to announce some more there, as I said, and we are at the process. Will continue. We have to reach at a certain point before we announce somebody.
Okay.
Right? While we speak, the process continues. So the public will be able to prepare themselves for some more announcements come next month.
All right.
And what is more important for us at this point is not just announcing the candidate, but ensuring that the constituency organization is there. So that when that candidate is announced, there's an organization already fully fleshed out that he or she falls into, and the political work continues with that person now being part of the process.
Okay. Now, how ready is your organization if election is called earlier than expected?
I think I said the last time, if election is called this weekend, we're ready. We're on the marks, we're waiting for the gun to fire.
You see, I have been involved in politics since I probably was 10, 11 years old, doing little things with my grandmother. And it's the first time I've seen the development of being part of that process of developing a political party. And the thing is that it's really, really, overwhelming, to tell the truth. I mean, the public pushes us, and the support that we're receiving, we know that we are in a good place whether the election is called today or tomorrow. It is not about making noise. It's about organization, and it's about being focused, and we are ready for that period.
All right.
And that's why we see when we have our engagements, we don't bust people in, because you create a false sense of security. We don't want to do that. We want to see the support coming from the communities as we go into them.
All right. Now, if elections were held tomorrow, what is that one message you want the undecided voters in Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, to hear from the DPM?
Unity, trust, the ending of that fear, moving away from fear, being part of the process. For too long, Grenadians don't feel part of the process of development. Embracing all. I think that's a key message. Embracing all, so that we are all building Grenada, not the chosen few, because we don't have any chosen few within the DPM.
All right. So, James, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I agree with Archie. I think it was also the question to us for people to understand is that this is politics. not as usual. We have to get everybody involved. We have a different program for people. We think that the involvement of everybody will make the difference in the development of this country. The question about unifying people makes a difference in the country. We're at a stage where we have seen, as somebody said, the same thing over and over and over. And a lot of people have been saying to us, listen, I am tired. I'm tired of that kind of politics. So we're listening to them, and we are going to unveil our full slate soon. We're going to unveil our programs, and that program is not just us sitting down behind some desk and discussing the program. It's the people that develop that program for us. And even in the communities where we go to do in Mayad, we have listened to people about what they need, what these things they need for the development of their communities, and we took those things into consideration.
And in the coming weeks, what we are doing is meeting with the interest sectors.
Okay.
Be it workers' organization, farmers' organization, fishermen, business community, hearing from all of those, the conference of churches, engaging with everyone and letting them know that we are here to represent you.
Okay. We have gotten just roughly 10 more minutes left on today's edition of To The Point. In this segment, I want to give opportunity to our listeners and viewers who has listened to us been talking for the last couple of minutes. I know they may have questions or two they may want to ask, so I'll give them opportunity. The numbers you can call, 435-2041, double the options, as I would mention, both the WhatsApp and the direct line, 435-2041. We do have caller number one. Caller, you good morning and welcome.
Yes, Mr. Telesford, good morning. Greetings.
Good morning to you, sir. Doing good, sir.
Greetings to your guests, Mr. James and Mr. Archie, I hope you didn't come to mash them up.
Not to broke them up.
All right, on a more serious note, gentlemen, I've been listening to your utterances again. You saying the things that ought to be said. You speak of the deja vu we've been in from morning, 52 years of bluff. And all the quote-unquote parties that have come in and so on promise the same thing, and then you made reference, for instance, to integrity and good governance and responsibility and whatnot. But when they get into office, they do the same thing as the previous administration. We speak of corruption through the years, how many millions of dollars have this country lost to illegal, illicit, indecent, immoral acts. The question here is, who pays? Nobody. Why? Simply because the system, I refer to the constitutional architecture of this here country, permits it. And if you take a look over the last 15 years in this here country, it is getting worse because the new breds are studying the thing even more profoundly, and are going even further than what the others did. The question is, until when? And mind you, when you claim upon them, what they tell you, well, the others did it too, so why not us? Isn't that happening, brothers and sisters? Aren't we observing that in this here country? And the question, when will that end? Who holds the quote-unquote shitty end of the stick? The population of this country. It tells us crystal clearly that the constitutional architecture of this here country has to change. We know today more than ever because documents are there to prove that Grenada continues to be ruled by an imperial order and council of majesty's most excellent, whatever it is. But the British government, that is what we have, exactly why we have to change it. Because it has served its purpose. It's no good for the country again. Question is therefore, what shall we do? Here's my question to you. Is the party, movement, whatever the political institution that you represent, gentlemen, prepared to take this matter, quote unquote, to the people? The so-called constitutional order makes provisions for that. When there are issues that we need to change within the said order, you take it to the people with a 2/3 majority in the parliament and a 2/3 majority in referendum. Let us ask the people, are you prepared to ask these questions and propose to the electoral authority that in the next election we have 2 referenda questions placed to the people? Alternative questions, repeat, alternative, not yes, no questions. Because we have to preempt to save time. A, do you wish to continue to live under an imperial order of the Queen's most excellent majesty, or do you wish to write your own constitution? Clearly, if they say yes to the first one, the party continues. But the people speak. When the people speak, that's what becomes law. If they say, we wish to write our own constitution, we preempt the waste of time and we say, that's why we shall ask the second question. Do you wish the existing executive, current executive, should I say, and the lawyers underlining lawyers, the constitutional gurus, write this constitution, or do you wish to write your own constitution through a convocation of the population through a constituent assembly? And they will decide whether they want it by one or the two. They say the lawyers will write it, leave it, and so it shall be. Put it to the people. What preparations are you people doing in your new organization to guarantee that the people of this country chart the course of their own future? I trust that, and I try to speak slowly. I trust that my questions are understood. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for what it's worth.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
I am on the question of constitutional reform. We are clear that we must have constitutional reform, because when we received that constitution, remember I say received it, eh?
Yeah.
Right. It was in 1974. We are way down the road now. We're in 2026. I think part of the constitution has already outlived its time, and it's time for us to make some changes to the constitution. The other thing I want to say is that when it comes to integrity and so on, we believe that whoever heads the Integrity Commission must not be a partisan person. We must find the best sons or daughter to head that commission. Because if we need to get rid of corruption, we must do the right thing to get rid of corruption. Mm-hmm. We cannot put Archie Bain as the chairman of the DPM to head that organization. We can't do that.
Yeah, you're correct. And I think Citizen Rolo always comes with some profound contribution. And one of the suggestions he has there, in our last engagement 2 weeks ago, when he asked about referendum, I did mention that probably what we need is a first referendum to ask persons if they want change. And he brought that spin today, and I welcome that type of thinking. That simple question on your ballot: do you want constitutional reform or not?
Yeah.
And we have to stop playing politics with the Constitution. We cannot support constitutional reform based on which political party seems to be leading the charge. And I must say that I'm happy that persons as Dr. Alexis and Ms. Grenade and so Dr. Grenade and so on, and now have formed that constitutional watchdog group. And I would hope that political parties and politicians and the people would give them support so that they can be the vanguard of those changes as against it coming from a political side. Because once people who are perceived to be political are leading anything, then people put on their political caps, and their thinking becomes skewed by that of their political side.
All right, we do have another caller. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're live. Let's hear from you.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you.
And good morning to the two gentlemen.
Go right ahead, please.
All right. Okay. First, I want to address. All right, the gentleman. Okay, I live in the diaspora, and I heard the two gentlemen mention about fear, about the people fear and stuff about in the last in this present administration now. Well, I want to remind these two guys that their leader was a member of the RMC, and for 6 days we was under a serious curfew. We was promised we was going to shoot on sight, and these are the same people that want to come back and run Grenada. Another thing, he's talking about Hello?
Yeah, you would ask. Go right ahead, please. You will be listening.
All right. Okay, the second thing, he talked about corruption. Remember, Peter David was supposed to be investigating Kit Mitchell for the corruption, all right, of shrimp farmers, fall farmers, them. What he did, he went and he joined them. You understand? So when you guys talking about corruption, let us talk about corruption. All right. Okay, my other point now, my question will be, you said that if election call today or tomorrow, within months, you'll be ready. Where is the manifesto? We want to see your manifesto to see what you offer. Because sometimes you guys talk like the same thing that this present administration doing. Sometimes you guys sound like NNP. So I'm confused. And my last question now is that I asked the gentleman in blue about what is his party opinion or will support civil rights of gays and lesbians, and he refused to answer me until I demanded my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning.
Okay, I would go first because let me thank the caller for his contribution, if I can call it that. Peter David was never a member of the RMC, so that's the first thing we need to correct. He has been a member of the NGM and he has never run away from that past. So I don't know if 30, 40 years after, we should be maligning people because of their political association. And he is one that admits and accepts that he was part of that political process. And he continues to be part of our political process. So I just wanted to correct that fact, to correct that. In terms of the other point he made of
I think his final question was relating to
he asked what I don't know, I can't remember him asking me that question about support for gay and lesbian. And I'm going to say that the DPM is inclusive. Yeah. It is inclusive. That is how I would answer that question, that we would not malign anyone because of their political, economic, or sexual orientation. Okay. I think that's the best way to answer it. And he asked about the manifesto. He said he lives in the diaspora. I hope he voted for a party. If he voted in the election and wherever he lives in the diaspora, that they had a manifesto. Manifestos doesn't run government. And we definitely would have a manifesto, but it's early hours. We are saying that we are engaging with our communities and we are building policies coming out of these engagements. We are saying that we have a think tank who would be working with us to develop policies, and those are the things that would be captured in a manifesto. Okay. You can go to ChatGPT and run a manifesto in the next 60 seconds, but what does that say?
Could I add something here?
Sure, go ahead.
In terms of first the manifesto question, manifesto is a document that they put out there, and 90% of the people don't even read it. It is some things that document and go back. What you should do, listeners, to go back and ask the other political parties to explain how much of those things in the manifesto
implementation of
that
the
was
manifesto.
implemented. We that is why we saying we will go back to communities. And also, one has to remember that Peter David has been a member of two political parties recently, 3 in NGM, but NMP and NDC. And he had to follow the policies of those parties. Now we're building a movement, and Peter David is the leader of the movement. He follows the policies of the movement, and that the policies of the movement will be vastly different to the other parties. Okay. So there are 2 different things. And don't support Peter David when he was with your party, and when he leave your party, you can't support him. Allow him to understand, to make his choices, and if you don't like him, that's fine. Yeah. But we want to hear your idea. Will you bring your ideas to us? Let me discuss it. Let's not bash people. Let's discuss. Let's have a conversation so we could move Grenada forward.
And I think the last thing he said is that he's confused because sometimes we sung as an NP and sometimes we sung as a ruling party. We say we bringing everybody together, so that's good. I had a math teacher who said, if you're confused, I mean you're learning. You're about to see the light. So caller, I think you're about to see the light.
All right. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live there at the direct line. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning to you and your guests and listeners also.
Good morning.
Please let me know. Tell me. And I'm following from the last caller because that came out very clearly. But I don't want to misjudge you or anyone else. In the relation to the fear among people. And if someone is listening, they will automatically get the impression that that fear is from the present administration. And Derrick, I know you well. Mr. Bain, I know you well. I know Mr. Bain association with the last administration. You were very integrally involved. And I know the modus operandi of the last administration as it relates to fear in politics. You yourself made the admission on radio of your former party's engagement in those things. I don't think it is fear to give people the impression of there, and you all have not said it directly, but when things are not said, when things are not clear, people come to their own conclusion. I'm getting the distinct impression that fear that you are talking about is fear from the present administration. And Derrick, you know, because you were part of the NDC in the past, that under any administration that the NDC had, fear was not an issue. You know that. I know that for a fact, that you know fear was not an issue under any other NDC administration. People speak freely, they do the most of things, and those leaders did not act it. So, Archie and you, Mr. Derrick James, please explain to the people. Well, I could understand the fear that you all speak about, but when you all speak it and don't give any direct, background, and background is very important, people run with the idea that there is this fear that NDC people will do them this, because this is the administration that is in office. The NMP is not in office now. But we know where fear comes from as it relates to politics in Grenada. So that will be my contribution this morning. But also, before I leave, in all fairness to my friend Peter David, some of the comments that are made about him, and I will consistently speak that, because I'm a man that speaks to truth. A lot of those information that are passed on by some people, that are shared by people, they are not true. It is unfortunate, and Peter as an individual has not, what I would say, see fit to respond to some of those comments. I can remember him saying to me one time, if you go there and try to answer, you add more fluid to the flame. And I think part of the reason why Peter is in this, what you call mess today, is because he has refused to join in the discussion and trying to defend and uphold his good name and whatever. But Peter is a good man. He's a good guy. I mean, I will go anywhere and speak that. If the movement having a meeting anywhere, I support the NDC. I am clearly going. No one can stop me from going there. Because information is critical. Not because I go to that meeting, I should be viewed as someone supporting or involved with the movement. I go there for information. And it is good that we could reach to that place where people don't have this fear to attend a meeting, regardless of what political party is holding that meeting, which political party is having that meeting. So I want to defend my partner this morning. Peter is a very good guy. Some of the comments that are made about him is not fair. But as I say, some of it may have been brought on by his silence, not trying to respond, and as he said, he don't trying to put any fluid to the flame. Let people say what they say. And sometimes when in politics, these things happen. Have a good day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for... you want to respond to the caller?
Yes. Thanks. I really appreciate the caller's comments. And I want to let him know that I am not speaking here from them say. I'm speaking, when I talk about fear, I'm talking about first-hand information. Yeah. It's something that I know as a fact of, and people talk to me about it, people express it, and I experience those things that I said. So, and I'm not pointing no finger at any political party. I am saying there's fear. And whether it happened in the last administration, it happened in this administration, it is wrong.
It is wrong.
It is
wrong regardless of who.
Regardless of who is doing it. Not because if you were affiliated with them and they were doing it. Listen, I believe that as Grenadians, we have a right to affiliate ourselves to any political party that we wish to. And you are correct. People must go and listen, and people must not go and listen with fear. So I ask you to just speak to your friends. If you know anybody express that, as you expressed today, tell them just go and listen. Don't go with any fear. Don't feel fearful to go and listen to people.
All right. Let's have another caller, and with maybe our final caller for the morning. Caller via WhatsApp. You're live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go right ahead, please, caller.
I think. All right. Yes.
Caller, go right ahead, please.
The thing I don't understand with the political parties, from before they do the revolution, go right back down up to right now. All what them guys say they will do and they won't do, and all what they're appealing about is all the parties. Each and every one, as Mr. Rulu pointed out earlier on, each and every one of them. So it's nothing new. So better they didn't even say anything, right? Because nothing new.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. That was our final caller for the morning. We are way over time already. 10 minutes going after the hour. I'm not sure if you want to respond to the last caller. If anything that was said, I need a response.
He said there's nothing new, so
I will give you an opportunity. Any closing comments before we take a wrap for today?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, GT, for hosting us this morning, and I also want to thank our delegates that came down last week, Sunday to the convention. I mean, I know it started early in the morning, and they had to make some sacrifice to be there on time. And we do appreciate all of them. It's just that now we know that the convention is behind us, the Congress is behind us. It is now for us to put our constitution in place, execute our plans, and move forward. And we look forward to everybody who wants to be part of the movement to come forward. This is about Grenada's development. This is about building Grenada. This is about a new type of politics. And we are open for people to come and discuss with us, to hear what we have to say, and place your questions to us so we could answer it for you.
All right. Anything?
And I think just to add to that, not just place your questions, but come with the hard questions.
Yeah.
Come with the hard questions. Ask us, debate with us. We are open to conversations and to debate because we want to bring out the best of our people. And that's why we say we have an umbrella that is open to all. We really want, this is a project Grenada. Let's all get on board. We say join the movement, but even if you don't choose to join, make your contributions.
All right. Thank you, fellas. Once again, I have one of the listeners or viewers via the WhatsApp is saying, we look at street brothers with the bald heads.
I hope they're not saying chase those crazy bald heads.
and three brothers who are associated with River Road.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, once again. Well, all the best for the rest of the day. And, of course, hope to have you back again soon. And, of course, we could even get more in-depth with our conversation. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, that's a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. Thank all who contributed towards today's edition. All the best, folks. Goodbye.